Welcome to a special year-end edition of Caltex Video Magazine. I'm your host, Gloria Barron. In this edition, we visit Hong Kong for an update on new strategies in lubricants marketing, and we will get the latest information on major developments for Caltex in Australia. 1997 has brought many changes in the Caltex world. To start our program, David Lawsmith talks about last year and what to expect in 1998.
The twilight of 1997 is fast approaching. I would like to take this opportunity to share some of my thoughts with you before the end of 1997. What we saw in the first 7 months was an extremely encouraging 7 months of operations that pleased all of us and must have made us feel proud. We were able to, in spite of downturns in refining margins, reflect very strong marketing margins and bring our operating results to records in the first 7 months. What was disappointing was it was not possible for us to adjust in the marketplace as quickly as one would like to recover those damaging devaluations of the currencies. Moving forward, we see some good signs in many of those countries, and in fact in times like this there are aspects that manifest themselves in the adjustments that take place that will help us move forward and be stronger with those economies that will obviously strengthen over time. I would expect us in 1998 to be more competitive, more focused, and in fact more customer focused, given what has happened in these countries and in our effort to help those countries pull them through this economic adjustment. During this period, what I would like to see and what I would love to see demonstrated with fundamental vigor is our brand identity and the Asian Games and the opportunity that the Asian Games gives us to strengthen that brand. I would also like to say that it was extremely pleasing that we could demonstrate that we have the convictions of our strategies for the longer term, as shown with the acquisition that we made from Pioneer in Australia to make us a 50% owner of the largest, most effective operating company in Australia. And secondly, to take a position in Thailand, particularly in Bangkok, by acquiring the BP assets that were so relatively new in comparison with the rest of our chain. To me, this demonstrates the commitment during difficult times to provide ourselves with the asset base for the future. It was also pleasing to see the operations being established in Singapore with Richard Fernie and Jock Mackenzie moving closely towards being in the area and the time zones that were important to us, particularly during the period post-July and during the acquisition of the BP assets. The end of the year is a joyous period that we like to celebrate with our families in different ways. And we in Dallas are thinking of you as you celebrate and enjoy your families. And we wish you all the very best during this season and a very prosperous 1998. Thank you very much indeed for all that you have given this company during the last year.
Changes are underway in Australia, which will make Caltex the controlling owner of the dominant refining company in the country and restore the Caltex brand in the market. Our next story spells out these major developments and what they will mean for our shareholders.
On December 31st, Caltex Australia Limited will become the largest petroleum company in Australia and one of the leading capitalized companies in the Australian Stock Exchange. CPC Executive Vice President Guy Camrata explains what the acquisition will mean for Caltex.
Caltex Australia Limited will now become the 100% owner of its subsidiary, Australian Petroleum Proprietary Limited, the largest oil company in Australia. First of all shareholders will benefit. The public shareholders as well as the CPC shareholders. And I may remind you that the public will end up ultimately owning 50% of the largest oil company in Australia, and Caltex Petroleum Corporation will own the other 50%. This company will be run as an independent joint venture according to the rules of the Australian Stock Exchange. We will have Caltex control through the board, through the selection of directors, and we intend to drive that control to restore the Caltex position in Australia.
In October, Caltex Australia Chairman Malcolm Irving released this statement about the deal. We believe that we've acquired the stake at a fair price, using an appropriate mix of shares and cash. Importantly, the acquisition will be earnings per share positive from day one for Caltex shareholders. This all comes at a challenging time in the Australian market. The change will be gradual, but with great opportunity for the company.
An exciting project utilizing the World Wide Web will soon open a new avenue for communication within the Caltex world. Now we preview the Caltex intranet.
Our world seems to expand before our eyes as exploring the internet on home computers becomes commonplace. Now plans are being made for Caltex to have its own intranet. What do we mean by intranet? It will be similar to using the internet, but this resource will be for Caltex personnel only, not available to the public. Project leader Allison Eyring explains the intranet.
An intranet is essentially a set of tools and applications that utilize internet technology. So there's really no difference between an internet and an intranet, other than the fact that an intranet is designed for use by a very specific group of people and has the security built to ensure that happens.
Testing of the Caltex intranet is going on now, while actual implementation across the Caltex world will progress in phases.
Phase one is really to do with publishing information. In other words, trying to find out what is the information that is currently within the corporation that is important to people to make the better decisions, to be more efficient, and to make that information readily available.
A worldwide launch will take place in March of 1998. From there, the possibilities for usage are enormous.
But that's really the tip of the iceberg. Really, an intranet really grows once it goes live. The experience of most companies is that within 2 years it's radically redesigned. So our focus is to do something, to have it be functional, to provide tools to content owners so that they can contribute, in essence to make everyone a potential developer of applications for the Caltex intranet.
The intranet is being designed first to help the frontline employee, those in direct contact with the customer. It will be the ultimate tool for sharing best practices, as it will be available for all employees once the infrastructure is in place.
Several months ago, when we had the Worldwide Employee Survey, one of the things that Caltex was that was pointed out to Caltex that we didn't do very well was communicate information within the company. And this is a tool that's really on target to address that particular problem. Basically, when the intranet is available and online, and there are interesting things in there for people to look at, everybody in Caltex worldwide will be a user of that service.
In Thailand, Caltex has purchased a network of 48 service stations from a unit of British Petroleum plc. The acquisition expands Caltex to more than 600 stations in Thailand and represents a long-term commitment there. The stations are located in the suburban areas of Bangkok. Managing Director Richard Abrams appeared on this television talk show to talk about the purchase.
Caltex traditionally has had its strength in the center of Bangkok, but we have been looking for opportunities in the growing suburbs. And that's why the BP network, all 48 sites, represents a very good strategic and operational fit for us, and of course, for our customers.
Chairman David Law Smith recently unveiled the new Caltex internet site at Caltex House in Dallas. While several Caltex operating companies and affiliates have launched their own internet sites, this is the first official CPC site on the World Wide Web. It provides public access to information about Caltex and its operating companies. Eventually, the site will be a link for employees into the Caltex intranet as described elsewhere in this program. The Caltex address on the internet is www.caltex.com. Lubricant sales personnel will soon have a new tool at their disposal. The Professional Lubricants Marketing System, now under development, will include, among other materials, a comprehensive manual providing background and detailed processes for all sales staff. The manual will be introduced during initial sales training and will be an important tool in fostering the concept of value-added selling. Caltex has an ambitious goal to increase earnings by $100 million annually after a period of 5 years. Critical to meeting this mark is the hiring, training, motivating, and retaining of professional sales staff. And the Professional Lubricants Marketing System has been designed to assist in all aspects of this vital activity.
The key is to sell the customer benefits, and not just the obvious benefits of the product, but to probe in the discussions you have with the customer over a series of sales calls to find out what ultimate benefit is he looking for, and tailor a package, not just a product, but a package of Caltex product and service offerings that will give the customer the ultimate benefit. In this way, we hope that the discussion will get away from how much does it cost to where do I sign.
Trademarks, like the new Caltex star, instantly represent a company to the public. The Caltex Legal Division recently hosted a town hall-style meeting designed to help employees understand the legal aspects of protecting the various trademarks associated with the company. The program included a pictorial look into the history of the Caltex brand. A video of the meeting is being produced for distribution throughout the Caltex world. It will serve as a tool for understanding the responsibilities involved in maintaining the integrity of the Caltex star. Haviland was officially launched in Vietnam through a showcase at this auto show. The Caltex booth, in conjunction with our local retail representative, was a big hit, drawing crowds of participants in with a NASCAR race simulator and bold Caltex signage. It was an excellent opportunity to introduce Haviland into the market.
There were 42 cases of product, which is about 250 bottles of Haviland sold at the show. And you have to remember that everybody who bought one there had to lug this thing around, even if they bought it right at the end of their visit. People were quite excited, and there was a significant queue at that booth for much of the day.
The Environmental Health and Safety Division at Caltex has a new way of doing business, a greater efficiency of the EHS review process. Let's look now to the new EHS.
In the petroleum industry, environmental health and safety issues are a top priority. But Caltex believes that protecting employee safety and the environment can now be linked more directly to our business goals. Piloted in New Zealand earlier this year, Caltex has an improved EHS review process that does just that. It evaluates how EHS activities can help OpCos achieve their business goals.
Well, we're trying to be more customer focused and recognize that in order for the Caltex companies to be successful, particularly today, they've got to have a better handle on environment, health, and safety risk.
EHS reviews have been streamlined. The individual E, H, and S assessments have been combined to form a single, more focused review. The new approach will be implemented throughout Caltex starting in 1998.
The review was a positive experience overall. We all learned a lot from it. And I think for the first time ever, we've actually got a fully integrated handle on our risk, and it's going to help us manage this risk into the future.
The new approach is a unique blend of proven tools from a variety of sources.
We looked at what was out there from other companies, what other companies were doing, what the trend was, what our shareholders were doing. So we benchmarked against not only our shareholders, but many other petroleum and non-petroleum industry companies in EHS reviews.
A risk and opportunity matrix is a simple but powerful tool for assessing the potential risk of any given activity. Jim Champion of Caltex New Zealand Limited explains the value of the matrix.
We need to look at our risk exposure across a wide range of activities. The matrix that was produced by the review team enabled us to measure many of those activities in terms of where we needed improvement and where we had strengths.
One of the important parts of the review planning process now focuses on understanding the business objectives of the operating company, the very tangible handful of things that it's critical for this operating company to achieve in the next 1 to 3 years.
By using this individualized approach to EHS issues, OpCos can deploy precious resources where they will have the most impact. Attention to good EHS practices that are linked to the business interests of the OpCo will help put Caltex ahead of the pack.
Because we are an international corporation, there are numerous promotional campaigns underway simultaneously in different regions. Often employees only see what is going on in their area of operation and never any Caltex advertising from other parts of the globe. So now we will feature a few innovative Caltex promotions. Let's take a look.
The best techniques in television advertising today are at work for Caltex around the globe. Humor is used effectively in our first example, an ad for Haviland.
This is one of the top-performing cars on the international racing circuit. You can't get its engine or its tires, but you can get its motor oil. Caltex Haviland Formula 3, formulated to provide complete engine protection from starting friction, heat stress, and engine deposits. The exact same Haviland you can buy right off the shelf, which, by the way, is a lot easier. Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car.
Promotional tie-ins to popular films are great tools for bringing new customers to Caltex stations. Our next examples visually connect the new Caltex identity with the re-release of the immensely successful Star Wars movies.
Caltex, a new look, a new energy in action.
Caltex celebrates the release of the digitally enhanced version of the Star Wars trilogy. See all 3 movies and relive the adventure as Caltex brings you the Star Wars collection. Every 100 peso purchase from Caltex entitles you to buy a poster, a minifigure, or a Micro Machines vehicle set. Get your Star Wars collection at participating Caltex stations now.
That is correct, Commander.
The Force will be with you, always.
Innovative film techniques and powerful music bring energy and excitement to the following commercial for Techron.
Caltex, pure power.
The Lubricants Marketing Action Team is an international group dedicated to helping operating companies generate revenue. For an update on the team's activities, we go to this story from Hong Kong.
This is Hong Kong in October, bristling with energy in motion. An appropriate setting for a meeting of the Lubricants Marketing Action Team, also known as LMAT. This multinational team brought together divergent skills and knowledge for a 3-day conference, developing ambitious initiatives in lubricants marketing for Caltex operating companies.
The Lubricants Marketing Action Team was formed in order to implement a consistent brand positioning worldwide for the Caltex lubricants.
This is truly an international effort involving 14 team members from 11 nations. LMAT was formed to deliver on specific needs identified by our customers.
Market research was done in most of our major markets to identify what our customers want and what they require from Caltex. Part of that research showed that Caltex was not a well-known lubricants brand, and we needed to strengthen both our brand positioning and our delivery against that brand positioning.
In Hong Kong, the group focused work on 7 initiatives, covering a wide range of issues, including image and identity, motorsports, motorcycle lubricants, Dello, and Haviland marketing.
The objectives of the motorsports team will be to look at ways in which we can maximise the returns from Caltex investments in motorsport. And when I say investments, I mean sponsorships. And not just the traditional sponsorships that we have been involved with in the past with Texaco and competing in an international arena, but we will be looking at developing the sponsorships and the investments that we have at the local level within the operating companies.
China and Cambodia are among several frontier markets for Caltex lubricants. LMAT is designing concrete paths to reach the end users in these areas.
The major objective of LMAT is to help build market position for Caltex brand in this market. Firstly, by increasing the brand awareness, and secondly, by reinforcing the brand image.
Great strides were made in Hong Kong, but the work of LMAT is not done. The team will meet once more in a developing market and then publish their results in 1998. In order to gain optimum results from the LMAT initiatives, OPCOs will include them as part of regular planning cycles. With the proper support, the initiatives of the Lubricants Marketing Action Team will assist OPCOs in gaining increased sales and profit, leading to brand position in the market.
We would like to thank everyone who has submitted story ideas for this program. This is your show, and we encourage all operating companies to send any and all press releases, video clips, still photographs, and story ideas to Caltex Video Magazine or the staff at Dallas Corporate Communications. Our goal is for this program to be inclusive of every Caltex entity. Thank you for your help in making this a show we can all take pride in. As we close 97 and look back, it has been a monumental year in world events and for Caltex. We'll wrap up this edition with images that have shaped our world in 1997. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in 1998 for all new editions of Caltex Video Magazine.